Post, which
So
is more
Tara,
tabloid.
I don't mean to interrupt on this topic. I just like 4 people now have mentioned it in the chat, and I just Googled it to confirm. CBS has canceled Stephen Colbert's Late Show. I am literally I am
Oh
in
my gosh.
shock. I am in shock.
Wow.
Like I'm like having I was like I actually can't not say something right now because like there's a conversation happening in the chat right now about it being like, oh my God, I know. Yeah, it's
just so that people understand, like Michelle's dream job in life was
yeah,
working
I'm
on
like,
the Colbert Show.
yeah, like I'm actually like
Like, I can't believe, and this is, you know what this is a direct result of. This
Yeah.
is a direct result of what's happening at CBS and the fact that CBS has capitulated to the Trump administration. And Colbert has been one of the most effective, most biting, smart critics of Donald Trump and his everything for the last 10 years, that I'm sure that there was pressure put on them to cancel Colbert, because you cannot tell me that Colbert wasn't getting the views or wasn't successful or his ratings were tanking. That's bullshit.
I'm yeah, they're saying it's a financial decision.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, I bet it was a financial decision.
Why? Because you're giving how much money to Donald Trump?
They're only giving $16 million to Donald Trump. But the financial part of this is they were threatened that their merger with Paramount Skydance wouldn't be approved by the Trump administration unless they did this. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to say they were canceling 60 Minutes.
Well,
I wasn't expecting Colbert, but I wouldn't be surprised if 60 Minutes is next.
Listen,
this is just disgusting.
I'm just looking at the news.
Yeah.
And it says, well, because, you know, Paramount owns Comedy Central.
Right. Oh, they're going to come for Jon Stewart next?
So, right. So it says the Paramount comics, Colbert and Stewart, are sharp critics of 60 Minutes deal. So they have been extremely vocal about what CBS has done to bend the knee to Donald Trump and his authoritarian threats.
So have the anchors at 60 Minutes. So like I'm telling you, 60 Minutes is next, which is this.
2 days ago, Deadline says Stephen Colbert riffs on Paramount's big fat bribe.
Yes.
That's what he called it, a big fat bribe to settle Donald Trump's CBS 60 Minutes lawsuit. Let me just say, yes, and I've been very vocal about this to every employer that I've had in the last however many years. My white whale of a job was to go work for Stephen Colbert. Like that was my dream job. Doing what? I don't know. I actually don't even care. I would go get that man's coffee. I love Stephen Colbert. When I first moved to New York City, I went to go see a show, a Tom Stoppard play, and my best friend and I were sitting in like the 4th row or something, and we turned to our right, and I go, "Oh my God, it's Stephen Colbert!" And he was sitting with us and his wife. And then about a year and a half later, when he spun off from the Daily Show to do the Colbert Report, it was like somebody I went to college with, it's long story, but I became friends with a guy named Mark Malkoff, who is the audience coordinator for the Colbert Report. I was one of the very first shows that Colbert ever did.
That's cool.
And I ended up, because, you know, Mark became just like a friendly acquaintance.
Yeah.
And I lived in the neighborhood. I went to go see the Colbert Report more times than I can even tell you. Like, and I like sitting backstage. I brought my parents. I went many, many, many times. There was one time, in fact, that I sat in the audience when nobody else was there yet. And it was when he would still do the feed from, you know, Jon Stewart would do the feed, and they talk to each other, have the banter, and then Colbert would do his show.
Right.
So he was filming that. And so we were sitting there, and it's just me and my friend and like nobody. And he walks up to me and he comes to me, he was like, "Hey guys, what are you doing? Where are you from? Whatever." And he was like, "I want to be an actor. I want to be an actor." And we talked about theater, and we talked about musical theater because we, you know, our love for musical theater. And I just want to say, like, I'm like really upset about this right now, actually.
Why didn't you ever try to work for him then? Why didn't you ever say, "I would love to work for you"?
Because my life was on a different path at that point. And then, you know, my life had a different path, and I still thought I was going to be a famous actress, which didn't happen, which is fine. I'm fine with that, actually. But Stephen Colbert, everyone that I have ever spoken to who has worked with him, who has known him, says that who the man you see on TV is exactly the man who he is in real life. He teaches Sunday school every Sunday, still to this day. He is a devout Catholic. He loves his family. He suffered tragedy very similarly to Joe Biden.
I was
That's
gonna
why they
say,
have the
sounds like
kinship that
Biden.
they have the kinship over that
That explains
tragedy.
that.
And you know, I just want to, and Alex, the
Yeah.
lovely Alex Trowbridge, who
Yeah.
works with us, he makes some of our rapid response videos with us. Worked for Stephen Colbert as well. Texts him on his birthday, and
Mhm.
Alex hasn't worked for Colbert in quite a few years.
Yeah.
He's the kind of person like that. He forges these kinds of relationships with people for years and years because
Right.
he's a good person
Yep.
and he's extremely talented. He cares deeply about this country.
Yep.
And he's been able to tell the stories of this country and his ways, the way that he feels about it through comedy
Where
and
did
through
he grow up?
satire. North
South
Carolina,
Carolina. Is it
South
North or
Carolina,
South Carolina? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
one of
South
the
Carolina. I
Carolinas,
think
one of
it's
the
South
Carolinas.
Carolina. You might be right.
Yeah, and like his sister ran for Congress, but like his name was Stephen Colbert, and it
Right.
became Colbert, like a whole
Right.
thing. But anyways, I just want to give some respect to him, just because
Give
this
him
is
his
like extreme.
flowers, huh?
Is just like very shocking. It's very shocking to hear. And I can't imagine, listen, when Apple was running Jon Stewart's show, they didn't like some of the things that he was saying and they tried to censor him. And he told them to basically go kick rocks and canceled his show on Apple. So if Paramount tries to come for Jon Stewart, the two of them, Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert, let me just tell you right now, yes, they're getting older and but not that old. They still got a whole lot left.
Oh,
And
listen, if they do that, there are enough platforms and venues now where it is not a
yeah,
death sentence anymore to get canceled from broadcast. So I
yeah.
suspect that they would find a home somewhere
Oh,
else.
absolutely,
They're not going
absolutely.
away. They're not going to, they may think that this is going to silence them, but they're both wealthy enough where they don't need the money anymore. They could do it for the love of what they're doing if they can, if they decided they wanted to do that. And I'm sure there are plenty of
Yeah,
other platforms where they would both land
yeah.
if need
And
be.
and Stephen Colbert, by the way, also brought intellect to late night.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly to David Letterman, but more so
Yep.
because of his curiosity and hunger for knowledge. And
Yep.
it was the kind of show that Misty Copeland would dance live to Yo-Yo Ma playing next to her. And that's the kind of show that he produces, that John Baptiste, got
Mm-hmm.
his name. Like that's how John Baptiste started his big career, was
Right. The music director.
he was the music director and
Yep.
the band leader.
Yep.
And I will end this by saying that I got married at the Edison Ballroom on 47th Street in New York City in November of 2015, which was just a few months after Stephen Colbert went to CBS. And my husband and I loved the theme song so much that is the song, the Colbert theme song that we walked into our
All
wedding
right.
reception.
I'm learning something new with everyone else tonight, guys. I did
Yeah.
not know that. And that's wow. Yeah, that's pretty serious. That's
So,
intense.
I just, yes, I'm a
Yeah.
fan, but it's more than fandom. I just have a deep respect for him and always wanted to work for him. And who's to say maybe someday I still will, but
Yeah.
I'm very sorry to hear this. And I think in the broader spectrum, this is another sign of the authoritarian fascist takeover of this country is bleeding into the culture and the things that we love and entertain us and make us who we are. And that is why culture and the arts is such a huge, huge, huge part of what is happening. And it's not anything that we should ever ignore.